Well, welcome along to the tip-off once again. We've missed a week last week, but pleased to say that the guys are joining me once again here this evening. Larry Foley over in Fremantle and Suresh across the causeway in Kuala Lumpur. I'll come to you first, Larry. Good evening to you. And what do you make of this card first and foremost? It's we're treated to a Kranji Stakes C as the standout race in a Class 3, but there's some nice races on the card.
Oh, I thought the two Class 4 races over 1,400 metres are crackers on the turf. C course is really fair, so I'm expecting some of the swoopers that often don't get a chance on some of the other courses. They'll have every chance here, and in both races there's plenty of pace. So I'm quite happy to have a crack at a couple of these. It'd be good fun.
And what about yourself, Suresh? How are things up in Malaysia there? And you were telling me. What was it, 3 or 4 winners, I think, last week you managed to snare.
Yeah.
That was good going.
Got three or 4 winners last week. Not too bad. Trying to catch up with the pack in KranjiRacing.com.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Well, I did actually. I took the liberty of taking a look at the leaderboard the other week, and you don't do too bad. So I wouldn't be putting yourself down. We'll stay with you, Suresh. Give us your best bet, please, for this week. What can the punters steam into?
I'm looking at race 5. I think I'm going with Starlight again as my best bet. Buzlan has 3 options here. Made in Russia, he has ridden for win, and the stablemate Tangible. But he's sticking with Starlight, so I'm going to have him Starlight as my best bet.
And what about going up in trip? Is that any concern for you?
Not a concern for me. I think he can take the trip. Not a problem.
Yeah, he did shape very well and winning on the turf, beating BU, which the form has been very well and nicely franked. That was a good win last week, Larry, wasn't it, from BU? What's on the short list for Mr. Foley this week?
Okay, just quickly, just a little bit of we'll tidy up a couple of things there. Firstly, Suresh mentioned that he had 3 or 4 winners. Just having a quick look at the ladder from last week, he had 3. Suresh, that's either 3. Yeah. Can't be 3 or 4. It's either 3.
There wasn't a dead heat. There wasn't a dead heat last week. You can't share one.
Now there was a big winner from U1 Watt Bluebird, a $100 winner. Oh, and TaxPay picked 5 last week, which was amazing. I picked 2, not 3, 2. But luckily they were the 2 best bets of the day, BU and Sacred Croix, and so they got up. Great ride on by Hakim on Sacred Croix. To this week. I agree with Suresh on Starlight. I think that'll be hard to beat in race 5. But I'm going for race number 3. I think Vlad's back. It's a really good race. Prosperous Return. I'm guessing Suresh is going to pick that in race 3. Coming off 2 straight wins. Clement's in form, but he's drawn wide. I think the King's Command, back over 1,400 metres on the turf, is perfectly suited. And I think Jurek will just ride him a treat, and King's Command is the one to beat.
Yeah, I tell you what, I had a good long look at that race today, and he really does stand out, doesn't he? He's a decent type. They thought him good enough to run in the Guineas as well. So I know he was an also run, but he wasn't that far behind, really.
No, it was a good run in the Guineas. And a little bit disappointed first up this prep, but I think this is the race they've sort of set him for, and he wins races like this, so happy to have him.
Yeah, I agree with the comment on Vlad as well. He really seems to be back with a vengeance, and I think it's only a matter of time before he starts climbing up the Jockeys Premiership. So we've got Starlight for Suresh. We've got King's Command for Larry Foley. Suresh, give us your value bet, please, if you may.
Value bet, Lucky Last. I'm going the Lucky Last with Just Landed. I think he will be a bit of a value, although Mark Lerner is up on board. With the blinkers and pacifiers, it's quite an open race. Sun Track is a consistent horse. Lim's Best Breaker is coming back to his pet distance, and Sky Eye is very consistent. So good pace in the race, and I think Just Landed can be the value bet and my next bet.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was a cracker of a last race, Larry, that final, the 10th race. I always do enjoy it when they leave a really competitive one till last. It keeps people involved throughout the course of the day. And I thought there were any number of chances in the last.
Yeah,
Well,
a lot of chances.
Sorry, Suresh. There's that much pace in the last. I think Suresh is right. Just landed, gets his chance. He's got headgear on, and but I think Lim's Best Break is also suited by the fast pace. I think Sun Trek will look the winner, but Lim's Best Breaker and Just Landed will be the ones running home, and it'll be a cracking race to finish. My next best. I know we try to avoid maidens in our tip-off, but I see Paul Hickman's got a good old Paul Hickman. He loves a dance. Have you ever seen him dance, Nick?
I haven't, but I know one thing. I was actually, before this horse actually got named, and without blowing one's trumpet, I remember discussing the horse with him. And if you look at his pedigree, the name Billy Elliott seems to suit him well. And for all it was a very, very small part, I did in fact play a little bit of a part in naming this horse. So I'll be watching on with interest.
I was actually talking about another horse, but no, I am talking about Billy Elliott. But Paul Hickman can't dance, so it's an oddly named horse. I haven't looked at the pedigree, but he does name them well.
Yes.
He's a good owner. He came through the trust years ago, and he's one of the best owners in Singapore. And Stephen Gray has been more than happy to have him over the last 10 or so years. But Billy Elliott, there's so many bad horses in this race. We made Who Loves Bay a certainty a couple of weeks ago, and it pulled up lame on the next day, so we'll give him an excuse. Ima, or is it Ima? Ima, I'll call it Ima. Ima going to win one day, but it's not going to get any of my money. These horses are just money pits at the moment for punters. So Billy Elliott, less convictions than the rest. He's on debut, good trial. Vlad Jurek rode him in the trial, and I'm going to have a Vlad day on Saturday.
I'll tell you what else he's got on his side as well. It's a very nice pedigree for those that are interested in bloodlines. It's related to a couple of stakes performing horses as well. Okay, brilliant. Well, they are the best bets from both Suresh and Larry. Just finally, guys, I will just ask the question and put it to both of you. Obviously, I know we're relatively still early days, but we've got a couple of probably slightly different names at the top of the Jockeys Premiership. Some early predictions for that, possibly. Where do we see that finishing up? Suresh.
I think I'm with Vlad Jurek to be the champion. Yeah, Harry Kesem can give him a good fight. Apprentice Hakim is doing very, very well. He might just take the Apprentice Championship. But yeah, Vlad Jurek for me.
Yeah, it's a bit of a French connection this year. Obviously, Larry, you'd have great experience of racing in Singapore. The French, jockeys and trainers as well. I know you would have dealt with plenty of them. They've always traditionally done quite well here, haven't they, at Kranji?
Yeah, I had a good blue one. I had a good blue one day with Arnaud de Mouzac. I don't know. I don't think you were around when Arnaud was here. No. Very famous French name in French racing, the de Mouzac family. Arnaud was a great guy. I mean, we had a little bit of a disagreement about a horse one day when I was running the trust, and I thought this could get interesting. But I think it was Brian Dean to the rescue. Anyway, the Jockeys Championship, no idea. No. In these COVID times, I've got no mail. Will Vlad Jurek stay the year? Mazzoulion, he's not riding as light as he used to be. Mark Lerner could be he's on top of the championship at the moment, I believe. I haven't checked it today. But why not Hakim? He's not riding Hakeem. Why isn't he's not riding this week? But he's well in front, and he's still claiming 3. So, goodness gracious, he should win. I presume he'll go close to winning everything because he's getting a full book of good rides.
He's almost first choice for Mark Walker, isn't he? Which is a great accolade for the young man to have at such an early stage in his career. Well, okay, plenty of who's
second choice? Jerlene Xiao.
Yeah.
Well, she's getting plenty of support as well. So yeah, I guess
she's got a chance. She's got a big chance this week to knock in her first winner. And Nick, you'll be very excited when she does. I know that for a fact. I'm looking forward to that call. Maybe Axel in the lucky last.
It could well be. It could well be. That's about it for the tip-off this week. We've got some best bets. Starlight for Suresh. King's Command for Larry Foley. And a bit of chat on the Jockeys Premiership as well. Still plenty to happen throughout the course of the year. Guys, thanks very much for joining me as always. And I look forward to watching the racing and watching your selections go round, plus catching up with you next week.
Thank you. Good night.
And nice orange jacket, cardigan, Nick. Good night.
You're very kind. Thanks.